welcome once again to the Certificate for in Fitness online professional panel. Joining me we have a guest from Vision PT. We have David Westcott. He's a director at the Brighton PT studio. So welcome, David.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for joining us. David, you've been in the industry for quite a while. Can you maybe just explain to our students a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what you do with Vision PT?
Yeah, I've been in the industry for 5 years now, and first when I finished my Cert 4, I had to pay back obviously the course, and I didn't have the confidence to go out there and just really start my own business. So I worked in a bar and I did a bit of PT part-time. And then once I started getting a bit of confidence with training clients and wanted to really take it to the next step, I approached Vision Personal Training, and I just heard Andrew Simmons speak at one of our courses, and I just was really inspired and wanted to be involved in the company. I knew that it was the place for me. Started there in 2007 and was a trainer for 12 months and really enjoyed it. And the best thing about Vision, I think, is the opportunity to really transform people's lives. So I love that, and I got the opportunity to manage a studio in Sydney, which I did that for about 18 months as well, and that was a really, really big eye-opener to what is involved in actually running a fitness business or a personal training studio. It was hard work, and I loved it. So an opportunity came up to get a studio of my own, and I was looking in Sydney, but I couldn't actually find a site where I wanted to, and this Melbourne opportunity came up, and I looked down here and I found a site that was really good, and I put it on the line to come down here and start Vision Personal Training in Victoria.
Great. Seems like such a great effort to go out on your own. Yeah. What was one of the major difficulties, I guess, that you had when you were initially setting up your own business like that? What are some pieces of advice that you could give to people who are thinking about doing that setup themselves with their own studio?
Yeah, I think, well, first you've got to have the confidence and belief that you can actually go out there and do that. I think money is the biggest thing. It's all about how much working capital when you start a business, because there is going to be a bit of time where you're building up a client base. So you've got to have some money behind you while you're getting a bit of an income coming in. So that's probably the biggest one word of advice, is just make sure you have a little bit of money behind you, because it is going to take 6 or so months before you actually start seeing a return on the business.
Yeah, because one of the hardest things to do is to start that initial generation of new clients and new business. So what sorts of things do you, or have worked for you in the past, and also maybe do you help your staff with when they're initially joining the Vision Personal Training?
Yeah, I think gaining clients, there's so many ways to actually do it. You've got to have at least 20 marketing strategies working at once, or marketing pillars, and then just monitoring them and seeing which ones are actually working. But advice when I get a new personal trainer, it's just that we've got to be out there, we have to be seen. So obviously looking fit and professional ourselves, and going around just talking to the local community, whether it's local business owners or getting out there and just speaking to local residents in maybe a shopping mall or something like that, where you can actually have some interaction with people, where it's such a people business, like the face-to-face personal training. So they need to know that you have a personality, they actually care about them. And the more that we're actually out there and the community gets to know us, it's funny how things just sort of stem from that.
Yeah, it's interesting how you're saying about getting involved yourself in the industry, and doing workouts yourself and looking the part and getting amongst it.
Yeah.
I've heard you talk a couple of times before about a lot of the induction process that you have with some of your staff and your employees, and how you put them through the paces with a couple of fitness tests.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about that induction process?
Yeah.
I think it's quite a unique one and also a challenging one.
Yeah. No, it is good. We want to make sure that we have the right people that come on board. If you want to be a fitness professional, you need to be able to take care of yourself. So there's 4 fitness tests that we'll put our potential trainers through, and even our trainers ongoing through. That's a push-up test, is how many push-ups you can actually do to failure, and then the beep test, okay, and also as a body fat test as well, just to make sure that we're keeping our body fat percentages down there. Nothing too unrealistic, but being consistent with that. And the fourth one is a 1-minute row. So how far you can actually row in 1 minute. You get tested twice in your mentor program, and then every 3 months after that, and we just want to make sure that our fitness levels are maintained through our whole career.
And you're saying too how you also get your potential new trainers to go through a fitness regime so that they can feel what it's like to be a client and to see the results happen when they do their retesting as well?
Yeah, with our mentor program, it's a 9-week mentor program, and a potential trainer actually becomes a client. So they'll have to go on and be involved in a fat loss program, be able to keep a food diary for nine weeks, which helps them understand the nutrition side of things. When it's 70% nutrition, 30% exercise, we want our potential trainers to have a really good knowledge of the nutrition side of things, and also the emotional side involved with actually keeping a food diary and the emotions around eating and exercise as well. So it's quite exciting and it's challenging. A lot of people don't actually do that, and if we actually can't do it ourselves as trainers, then if a potential trainer cannot actually keep a food diary, we need to really ask our question, is this person right for our team and for Vision Personal Training?
And how can we expect clients to be doing the same thing if we're not capable of doing it ourselves
as
trainers? Yeah, definitely. So we've sometimes discussed with a lot of students as well how a working week for personal training is quite different to your standard corporate working week.
Yeah.
A 9 to 5 doesn't really exist. A 40-hour working week doesn't always exist either. How have you found working in the industry? What are sort of the main trends when peak times are? How many hours you'd sort of be expecting to work a week, and how you've managed to incorporate that into your lifestyle?
Yeah, well, that varies, and I think that the last thing they said there, lifestyle. I mean, fitness needs to be your lifestyle. You need to actually really live it. And when you first start, it's a little bit hard because your hours are all over the place. You might have one client early in the morning and one client late at night, or maybe one in the middle of the day. So your energy levels are really going to fluctuate, which is hard. So in the first 6 months, I think that's why there's such a massive drop off. People get in and they actually can't sustain that for a period of time. But I think you just really need to dig deep and get through it, because once you start building that client base up after 6 or 12 months, I think that if you have the constant back-to-back clients, your energy levels then don't fluctuate as much, and you actually start really getting some momentum, and that's all you need. Once you get in there and you get some momentum with your hours and your client base, nothing will stop you then. But it's a matter of gaining that momentum, and that's the hard part, is actually getting the client base and the momentum.
Yeah. Now, Vision PT operates as a franchise.
Yeah.
Can you explain maybe what's involved in a franchise, how that operates, and how that differs to being employed, or how that differs from contracting or anything like that?
Yeah, so I have purchased or invested in a franchise from Board of Vision Personal Training, and the best thing about having a Vision Personal Training franchise is the support. So it's such a great network where you don't actually feel like you're out there doing it on your own and competing. I can call any other franchise owner up at any time and have a really good conversation about business or personal, and the support that you get from the HQ in Sydney is really good in terms of the marketing, and we have some support representatives that sort of monitor us and make sure that we have the tools to run a successful business. So they supply all the tools and the business structure, and we just go out there and drive it, and it's a chance for everybody to stay in the industry and own a business and have a long successful career.
Mm-hmm. And if I was a personal trainer operating with you at your business, what sort of a rate would I be expecting to charge my clients for a session, and then what would I see from that myself in return for the session?
Okay, so how much do we charge?
Yeah.
So we do a weekly program. That just depends on each sort of individual. Okay. In terms of what we do with our trainers is that you don't actually compete for clients at Vision Personal Training. We work in a team, so it's a very team-orientated field. We pay our trainers on an hourly rate. Okay. So that hourly rate now starts at $25, and you can move through some levels to $40 an hour, which is pretty decent money coming straight out of Cert 4. We actually teach you everything that you need to know in terms of we visionize you. So you get the ongoing training and support throughout your whole time at Vision for free. That's just part of the whole thing. So you actually don't need to keep investing in relearning things or doing courses, because Vision actually provide all that for you.
Okay, so you've obviously been involved in a lot of the recruitment process for new personal trainers. What's some of the things that you look for from a resume when you first receive one, and also what sort of things can people expect to go through in an interview process?
Yeah, well, in terms of resumes, I've never read a bad one. So I actually don't really look at resumes anymore. I really want to meet somebody face to face. How we do it is somebody will apply online to work at Vision Personal Training. I'll receive that application and I'll invite them along to a group interview, and then from that group interview, if things are going well and they like Vision and they want to take it to the next step, we'll get them to come along to a group exercise session so they can actually be then exposed to our clients, and they can actually partake in a group boxing or a run group or something like that, where we can actually sort of see how they interact with clients and other trainers and get some feedback from clients. If things are going really well, we'll sit down and we'll do a one-on-one interview, and this is where I get to learn more about the potential client as a person.
Yeah.
So I really want to know what their goals are and where they actually want to head in life, and whether PT is just a sort of thing they're just doing to kill time, or they actually really love it and they want to live it and make a career out of it. And yeah, just understand where they've actually come from and why Vision Personal Training. So that's a really good thing. And if things are going well after the one-on-one interview, what we'll do then is maybe we'll have a workout, or we could start the mentor program. And the mentor program then goes for 9 weeks, and you'll do everything from follow goals, sit in on goal sessions and learn how to do the nutrition sessions and shadow our weights and cardio sessions. You'll also learn a little bit of sales and marketing, so how to answer phone inquiries, like the fitness test. You keep a food diary for 9 weeks, and you just be involved in the studio, and then from there, if everything's gone well and you've achieved a really nice before and after photo with your mentor program, you'll get the opportunity to become a member or a member of our team.
Yeah, good. I think there's quite a few really good personal trainers out in the industry at the moment. There's also some that struggle a lot as well. What do you feel as though makes the difference between a good personal trainer and a great personal trainer?
Yeah, I think it's the care factor. So I think if you really, really 100% care about your clients, you will go a long way in the industry. It's that old saying that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and I really live by that, because if you can actually 100% care about your clients, it puts you miles ahead of your competitors, and your clients really then they put their trust and faith into you.
Yeah. I think when you're first starting out in the industry, there's always going to be some hurdles, there's always going to be some obstacles that you probably need to push through in the initial stages, as you've already said. What do you think one of the hardest things about being a personal trainer is? It might be in those initial stages, or just in general, it might be having to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I think that, there's some sacrifices that you need to make. Everyone's different with the sacrifices that they have to make. One of mine was if I really wanted to advance in my career, Sydney wasn't really the place for me to be, so I had to move away from friends and family to come to Melbourne to continue my career. So that was one sacrifice that I had to make. Others, there could be sacrifice where maybe in a relationship that you're away from your partner a lot of the time because of the unsociable hours that we work, so I think the sacrifices that you need to make, that can be hard.
Yeah. Having said that, there's obviously perks about being in the industry, and there's reasons why people get involved in it in the first place.
Yeah.
What do you think is one of the best things about being a personal trainer?
It's got to be being able to help hundreds of people. If you can actually transform even just one person's life, the way they look at even themselves and the way that their philosophy on life, it's just unbelievable. Like, that's the most fulfilling thing. That's why I'm still in the industry, because I've seen clients actually transform right in front of your eyes, and just that just gives me so much joy that it just really inspires me and motivates me to help more people.
For every accomplishment that your client achieves, and I guess that's an accomplishment for you as well, because it means that you've been able to help them and to get them to that point. So
yeah, definitely.
And there's a lot of different career pathways that students can possibly take once they get into the industry, or lots of different niches that are available to them. Just from your experience and from your knowledge of the industry, what do you think is becoming one of the most popular trends in the industry at the moment, in terms of maybe demographics of types of training or people or groups of training that is happening?
Yeah, I think, well, I was just reading the other day that boot camp is really taking off. I think that if you can get a group of people together, really interacting with each other, and they all have similar goals, that's quite popular because it's quite powerful what a group can actually do if they're working as a team, as opposed to, you have a big gym and there's so many people in there training, but no one's actually interacting and talking to each other, and I think that can be a little bit demotivating for a lot of people who really need that support and stuff. So yeah, the group stuff I think is a great way to start out too, because you can actually, it's probably easier to get a group of people together, and you don't really have to charge them a lot, because everyone will just pay a certain amount, so you'll still earn a nice little packet, but they don't actually have to pay a lot, and that's a good way to start.
Yeah, good advice.
Yeah.
Now, having been in the industry for a while, as you said before, hindsight's a fantastic tool. Is there something that you wish someone had told you in the early stages of your career, or now that you look back and gone, wow, I wish I had have known that you could share with a few of our students?
Yeah, I think there's probably a lot. I think it would have been probably the sacrifices. I think if someone really, I think you need to have a mentor. Okay, so I've been lucky that I've had some really good mentors in my career, but if you lack a little bit of direction, I'd really search for those mentors, because the sacrifices that even they've had to make, that just sort of kept me going a little bit. Like, you didn't feel like they were on your own. So I think that you got to know what you're actually getting into. Yeah. So does that answer the question?
Yeah, and just sort of be prepared to maybe shadow and go out and do some work experience and learn from people that are out in the industry and
learn
are
from
successful.
people.
Yeah, great. Well, David, thank you very much for coming in and sharing all your answers, and hopefully I wasn't drilling you too much with those questions.
No, that's fine.
But as I said, I think the students will really learn from it, and if we can give them some advice in these early stages, then hopefully they'll be sitting where you are in 12 months time, or 12 years time, and be able to say the same thing. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.